evening and welcome to the brand new Oxfordshire YouTube sports show for Oxfordshire called Ox Sports Unleashed. We're coming into your living rooms, your jacuzzis. I've lost places we've come into now, actually. But the eagle-eyed among you would notice that a certain presenter is back this week, back by unpopular demand.
Harsh.
After Patrick Lock's excellent portrayal of the K-Dog last week.
Average.
Ooh, rude. But he's back.
I'm back.
Back with a
plom.
With a plom.
I'm back. Yes. Thank you for those people that didn't vote for me last week. That was really kind of you. I think that the current producer voted for me, so thank you, current producer. And I gather Patrick Lock actually voted for me as well. So maybe he'll come back to your screens at some point in the near future. But yes, sorry about last week, Darryl. I was a little bit tied up with other commitments.
Patrick did very well.
He did. To be fair, he really did. Yeah. Right, so yeah, welcome, as Darryl said, to this episode 8. It was a bit of a struggle this week. 2 months we've been going, 4 episodes a month, and we're still here. We're still pestering and bothering you all every week. We did think this week we might struggle to get a full show because the rain at the weekend was absolutely relentless and there was so much football off and lots of sport was off, but we managed to cobble together some good highlights. We got some highlights from a couple of games that did survive the weather at the weekend. We've also managed to get highlights from the midweek game, Banbury United against Scunthorpe United. Absolutely incredible. I posted a tweet myself. It was a bit surreal because just 13 years ago, Scunthorpe were playing in the Championship. Banbury were in the Southern League Division 1, and here we are 13 years later, and they met as equals at the Banbury Plant Hire Community Stadium. It wasn't to be, though, for Banbury. They did go down to a 2-0 defeat with 2 really good goals, I have to say. So here's the highlights from the National League North game on Tuesday evening at the Banbury Plant Hire Community Stadium, followed by a quick interview with Mark Jones as he summed up the match.
And Banbury are away, breaking forward. Ball now out to Adi Yusuf, but he's got no power on that left foot shot. Will deliver right footed, sends it in towards the 6-yard box, and a header comes in. And it's wide of the post. Smith twisting and turning on the edge of the area. Good, well, I was going to say good piece of interplay there, but Banbury managed to snuff it out. But they've got more pressure coming now with Will Evans coming forward. Stepping out from the back, the big number 5. Breaks 20 yards out. Shot comes in and it's a goal! And what a goal it is! The iron of struck first. Brilliant strike from the number 19, Jacob Butterfield. I picked him out as the player to watch. He's a vastly experienced player. I said he'd got a goal in him from midfield. And from 25 yards, he beats Jack Harding. And Scunthorpe United are ahead. It's Banbury United 0, Scunthorpe United 1. He just skipped away from him and went through to the goalkeeper Harding. Fleming knocks his ball downfield, but it's cut out again. Scunthorpe just pinning Banbury back in their own half of the field. Still going. Shot comes in, good save Harding. And it had to be because that was going into his far post. And it's inside his far post and it's out for a corner. Sends it as an outswinger. Almost breaks in the area. Great save Harding again. Here's Barrows, cuts in field, lays it to Law. In it comes again. Banbury struggling to clear the lines. Simeon May manages to scoop the ball away from just outside the 6-yard box, but it's coming back again as Scunthorpe look to build on this 1-0 lead at the moment. And certainly they're playing with an intent, aside from Lincolnshire. Denton. Ball rolled forward again. Banbury having to keep a good shape about them. They're being picked off again, and Harding comes out and makes another good save. Certainly Banbury have got to have the wits about them. Don't want to concede another goal here. Oh, it's a brilliant goal. It's been absolutely outstanding. Connor Smith He's been busy in his play. He's picked a real perler out there, up and over the wall, over Jack Harding, and it loops into the net. It's 2-0 to Scunthorpe, and you've got to tip your hat, because Connor Smith, you won't see a better free kick anywhere across any platform of football tonight. Connor Smith with a goal. It's 2-0 Scunthorpe United. Tony, you've got to tip your hat to that. Knocks the ball forward. Lewis Hall will cut it out, but then it just skips off his shin. And infield to Whitehall, and a lovely little ball. Harding, brilliant save. Could be from a set play. Diath in towards the edge of the 6-yard area, and it's not well dealt with by Ross Fitzsimmons. He might have took a little bit of a knock there from Yusuf for his pains. Ball still in play, and it's headed back across goal, and it goes out through. Goal kick. Not through the thirds, but they give the ball away in midfield. And now the ball's knocked forward, and they're in trouble here. Oh, and, well, it was Butterfield who just slows things down a little bit, then lays it forward to Connor Smith. Smith will take it to the byline, rolls it into the area. Whitehall can't quite get a shot away at goal, forced to take it away from goal, and Scunthorpe just patiently building on the edge of that area. Butterfield gets a little bit fortunate with the rebound there, but it comes back to Tyler Denton. Clunan, the captain, lays it into the feet of Jason Law. Ball then across to the far side. Scunthorpe just almost seemed to wanting to walk it in there. Scunthorpe player, I think it might well have been the substitute Jack Jenkins. And then Banbury play themselves into trouble. And the shot comes in, it's hit the post. I think Hardy's got a touch on it. It's going to be a tap in. It's going to be a tap in. The flag's up though. Tap in or no tap in, the flag's up. Scunthorpe United is right hand side for Banbury as the ball comes out and it's drilled across the face of goal.
Mark, a 2-0 defeat this evening against what I thought was a very good Scunthorpe side. Your thoughts overall on the game, how it played out today?
Yeah, listen, I thought they deserved to win the game. You know, I thought our lads showed good character to keep going because we were up against it, you know, particularly first half. They are a very good side, you know, and I think you could perhaps see the difference tonight between the sharpness and them. You know, they are full time, and it's, you know, not a throwaway comment just to say, oh, we're full time and we're not, but it does make a huge difference. You know, I said in my previous interview that, you know, we haven't really managed to sort of do enough training over the last sort of week or so. We've got to look at that as a club. You know, I know it's, you know, nobody's got a magic wand. You know, there's a little bit of lack of facilities in the Banbury area, you know, we're trying to sort of mix and match and sort of try and train on the pitch sometimes and trying to find different sort of AstroTurf venues, but you know, it isn't ideal. But look, it's what it is. You know, we've been on a good run. I think tonight we've come up with a team that was a better than us on the night, but I think what we did do is we kept going. You know, we didn't jack it in or give up or anything like that. The players sort of, you know, did their best, but tonight we sort of needed to have, you know, pretty much everybody all on their A game if we was to get a result. And I think we had a few players that were a little bit off of it, and you're not going to get away with that against a team like Scunthorpe.
So there you go, that's Mark Jones reflecting on that 2-0 defeat to Scunthorpe on Tuesday evening. I think Banbury played better in the second half. First half, I have to say, Scunthorpe were one of the best sides I've seen this season, and that includes teams that I've seen in the National League Premier. They really did blow Banbury apart in the first period, but yeah, Banbury came back in the second half pretty well. They've got a couple of really tough games to come as well this weekend. They're away to Tamworth, who are the leaders of the National League North. The last time Banbury went to Tamworth was in their Southern League Championship season, and they ran out 4-0 winners, and Tamworth said that they had dominated, even though they lost 4-0. It's going to be a tough one, that. And then next Tuesday, another ex-league side, just to show how far Banbury have come, Hereford away at Edgar Street. I may be going there, depending on work commitments, and if I'm there, we'll get an interview with Mark Jones in that game as well. Just a little note about the two goals, quality goals, weren't they, to be fair? Jacob Butterfield from the edge of the box, Connor Smith curling home a free kick from 22 yards, Connor Smith on loan from Aberdeen. That kind of shows the level that Banbury are competing at, really, because Scunthorpe a full-time side. So actually they didn't disgrace themselves and played okay, and Mark was pretty philosophical in defeat in that one. Darryl.
Sort of stopped their good winning form, actually, didn't it?
It
Against
did,
the
but
top
yeah,
side, to be
it'd be
fair.
interesting to see how they get on away to Tamworth at the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that sort of brings us quite nicely to our normal feature, our regular feature of Lock, Lyon and Ryde. Lock, who was here last week instead of him, now behind the cameras this week. It's Lock, Lyon and Ryde, and over to Colin.
Yes, welcome to this review of last weekend's local results from League One through to set 4 of the football pyramid. And we start with Oxford United, who were in FA Cup action against Maidenhead, who sit just 2 places above Oxford City in the National League. United's departing manager Liam Manning reminded everyone that it's knockout football and the result counts much more than the actual performance. 2 goals from Billy Bowden, though, did put United into the next round. At times, though, they did not look like 2 entire football leagues between the 2 clubs at all. No game for Oxford City this week, but Paul, you made the headlines with the news that you were to take a bit more of a back seat at the club. For a moment, we all thought, oh no, we're losing Liam Manning and Paul Lyon from local football, but you're not leaving the club, are you? So just to be clear, what was your role at Oxford City and what will you be continuing to do?
Well, for the last 7 years, Colin, I've been the finance director. I've been on the board and spent a lot of time during the week looking after the finances of the football club and also club secretary, and I'm also club welfare officer. So there's a lot of things I do at the club, and as you know, I've got other business interests, and it's taken up too much of my time. And nobody at Oxford City makes any money out of the voluntary roles that we perform. So I need to spend more time doing my day job. So I've resigned as director, so I'm not sitting on the board anymore. But I'm still club secretary and still doing all the day-to-day work regarding player registrations, sorting out the fixtures with the other clubs, doing all the league admin. So I'm still doing a lot of hours for the football club, and I'm still a part shareholder of the club. But I've given some of my shares back to the football club. I haven't taken any money for it. I've given the shares back to the club to find another investor to help us in the future, because we're going to need more money in the football club. If we want to stay at this level and progress onwards, we need to make the club into a much more stronger business. You know, it's Justin and I have done a tough job the last 7 years, and some people say it's been a miracle that we've got to where we've got to. But we need some more support. So we're looking at getting some new investors in. So I've given some of my shares back to the football club, and we're actively looking for new investors in the Oxfordshire area. We're looking for the right investors, people that love football, local people that want to be part of our community football club. And that's the aim of what we're doing here. We've got some new people coming onto the board, some people that are local businessmen, people that are involved in business in Oxfordshire, and we're forming a new board of directors. If you remember the original board when Justin and I took over, I think we had there's about 6 or 7 of us, and they're all in their 70s and 80s and really gone past working. They should have all retired a long time ago. But Brian Cox is still there. He's still our chairman, still on the board. But apart from that, the rest of them have all gone now. So we need some younger blood. So that's what the aim is. But I'm still here. I'm still involved in the finances of the club, still doing the day-to-day work. So you won't find much has changed, really.
That's good to hear, Paul. So let's get back to the team itself. So no football action this week. How close are your walking wounds to get back into contention for the starting 11, Paul?
Thankfully, we had a week off on Saturday. Although I don't know, thankfully, I'd rather have been in the FA Cup, but because we got knocked out, we had a week off this week, which has given us more time. So a few of our lads will be coming back. I think Josh Ashby's almost there now, so hopefully he'll be back. As you know, we had 8 players missing at our worst possible point in the last month. We'll say 8 players missing. This is 8 players that would normally be starting the match, which is, and I think when you look at the team we put out in our last home game against Barnet, it was probably the most inexperienced Oxford City team we've ever put out. I think it was unbelievable, really, the lack of performances that we'd had from all these new players that had come in, and it was a totally un-Oxford City looking team. So hopefully this Saturday we should be able to put a decent team out in a game. I think that's really important that we get a win, because we're not far away from safety, and a couple of wins will put us mid-table. So this is one of the games certainly that I would highlight as a must-win game.
Okay, so we've lost Chris Haig between the sticks for City. He's gone back to his parent club, but you've gained a recruit from my hometown club, Southampton, Paul.
So Chris hasn't actually gone back. He's still with us at the moment. He was Ebbsfleet were looking at recalling him because they had injuries, goalkeeper injuries. But they decided not to at the last minute at the moment. But it did highlight the fact that, in the event of the goalkeeper going back, we could be left open. And so we decided to sign another goalkeeper. So Jack Bycroft has come to us from Southampton. Good young keeper. He's played for Aldershot Town at this level, a lot of experience. He's very highly thought of. And so he's come to us for the next few months as extra support. And so we have 3 goalkeepers now, which is an unusual situation for us.
Well, if you get a problem with central defence, perhaps you can field a few goalkeepers there in that one, Paul. Okay, well, next we go to a man who is still very much part of Oxford City as the programme editor and a reporter of the national non-league newspaper. Patrick Lott, take us through the rest of the weekend's limited results because of the weather, and look ahead to the tables, or they were on Saturday night, and then the fixtures coming up on Saturday. Patrick Lott.
Yeah, thanks, Colin. And like you say, it's going to be a very quick roundup this evening. As you say, Oxford City had a blank weekend, and Banbury, Didcot, and Tame United all saw their games victims of the weather over the last weekend. But we did have 2 games in the county at Step 4. Kidlington and Northley survived the weather. So we got at least some football and wasn't a complete blank weekend. Kidlington were involved in something of a thriller at Yarnton Road as they fought out a 3-3 draw against Waltham Abbey. There were 3 penalties in the first half, with Ben Baker initially putting Abbey 2-0 up from the spot, but Kidlington did half deficit with a spot kick of their own through Felipe Barcelos. Kidlington then turned it round and took a 3-2 lead in the second half with Ben Richard and another from Barcelos, but Prince Domofrey levelled it late on for Waltham Abbey to end what actually seemed to be a bit of a thriller of a game at Yarnton Road. So here's what manager Mark Massingham said after the game.
Massey, it's ended 3-3 with the point shared late on. Admittedly, a lot to digest, but what's the first thing that springs out at you?
Mate, I just said to the lads that game was like a roller coaster. It was first 35 minutes pretty dull. When I say dull, I mean they had a style of play, we counteracted it. A couple of half chances either team, nothing really happening. Then the referee decided he wanted to get involved and gave 3 penalties and 10 yellow cards in 10 minutes. So worked that one out. One of them, the boy's actually hit Fanny in the face. There's actually a ball mark on his face, and he's gave a penalty. No one appealed for it. Even the linos told him it isn't a penalty, and he just ignored him. That was the interesting thing. The referee actually ignored the linos as much as he ignored us. So, it is what it is. He's young. He's made mistakes today. Hopefully, he'll learn. He hasn't been assessed. So, hopefully, they give him the good feedback. But overall, the game, 2-0 down at this level against a team that's third. You take a point. In the game situation, 3-2 up with 3-4 minutes, whatever it was. But football's crazy. At the end of the day, we lost. So, okay.
It's all square, half an hour gone, evenly matched, and all of a sudden you're 2-1 down at half time, 3 penalties given and 9 cards given out.
Yeah. Do you know what was interesting? Went 2-0 down. The football we played then, I would actually say some of the best of the season. Now, I know pressure comes off you, but we got the goal. Probably should have got another one before half time. It's a penalty. The lads got fouled, the referee didn't give it. And then, second half we come out and we control the game. I'll be honest with you, for 30 minutes we controlled the game, created chances, scored 2 good goals. Felipe did what we brought him in. Ben scored a good goal from the corner. And it's a sucker punch to concede, but realistically, 3-2 down, 2-0 down, you take the point.
Sam, on a personal note, you made your full debut, and on the team note, should it have been 3 points?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously, tough first half, going 2 down, but I think the boys showed great desire, hard work, got back into the game, 2-2, and then obviously going 3-2 up, which was a great achievement. But really, it feels like a bit of a 3 points loss, just where they equalised last minute. But on the whole, look, it was a really good game, and at the start of the game, we would have taken a point. after there being 2 down, we would have taken a point. So yeah, on the whole, it was good.
So overall, you happy with the performance?
Yeah, definitely happy with the performance. Great bunch of lads. Happy to make my debut. Hopefully, many more minutes to come.
So Northley were the only other game that survived the weather, other than Kidlington, and they fell to a 2-1 defeat on Hertford Town's 3G pitch. They went 2-0 down just after half time, but did give themselves a bit of hope midway through the second half, thanks to Lance Williams' goal, but was too late for them to find a leveller there. On Sunday, there was one game as Oxford City women's side travelled down to Bournemouth Sports, and again, it was another thriller actually, as the hoops came out on the wrong end of the odd goal in 7. City went 1-0 up at half-time actually through Emily Harris, but would go 2-1 down just before the hour. Harris would then level the scores on 61 minutes, again keeping up her fine goal-scoring season. But the visitors struck again 4 minutes later to take the lead before putting the game, what seemed to be beyond doubt, at 4-2 with 10 minutes to play. But City did fight back and made it difficult, with Ellie Walecki making it 4-3 with a few minutes to play, but wasn't enough time for them to find an equaliser there. So we'll have a quick look at the tables, and actually, as there was a fair bit of weather around and teams also in cup action, there's not really many changes to the league standings. So Oxford United, they're still second in League One. Obviously, the whole of the League One was in FA Cup action last weekend. Oxford City is still 23rd in the National League, and again, there was very little National League action last weekend. Banbury United 13th in the National League North, but it shows how tight that league is, as they're still only 2 points off the playoff positions. So a win there can see them fly at the table already. Didcot Town, they're still 21st in the Southern League Premier South. Well, in the Southern League's Division 1 Central, Northley 2nd, Kidlington 13th, Tame United are still bottom. And in the women's football, Oxford United 6th in the Women's National League South, and Oxford City 4th in the Southern Region Women's Football League Premier. So quickly, what's coming up this weekend? Oxford United, they're on the road as they travel down to Leyton Orient in League One. Oxford City, as we've already heard, are hosting Woking in a must-win game in the National League. Banbury United, they've got a tough game as they travel to league leaders Tamworth. Didcot Town, they're at home also. They host Poole Town. And there's an Oxfordshire derby at Northley. They host Tame United, Engine Park. Kidlington, they're on their travels as they head to Aylesbury United. And on Sunday, Oxford United women, they're in Women's FA Cup action. They travel to Woodley United. And Oxford City women, they're at home as they faced Eastleigh in the the Southern Region Women's Football League. Back to you, Colin.
Yeah, well, that's how things shaped up last weekend and what you've got to look forward to this coming weekend. Thank you, Patrick Locke and Paul Lyon. Much more Oxford Sport Unleashed, though, coming up. And back to you in the studio, guys.
Thank you, Colin. That's Colin and Patrick, Locke, Lyon and Ryde. I noticed that the viewing figures went up while Patrick was on the screen, so maybe people do want him back.
They do want him back.
Yeah, it was shot up to about 15. And then
we should do a poll.
As soon as
bring Patrick back.
Not another. Bring Patrick back. That's a bit of a slogan. So we decided off the back of that game at the weekend and the fact that they were one of only 2 sides to beat the weather, and the fact they had a midweek game as well, and we decided that we would make Kidlington our team of the week this week. Thank you so much to Charlie Bell at Kidlington. Brilliant work, Charlie, getting all the highlights for this next game, or the goals at least. And Charlie is the lad that does all the interviews for us for Ox Sports Unleashed, and really good interviews. So we're moving on to the midweek game. Kidlington home again on Wednesday against Cirencester Town. They were in the playoff hunt themselves, Cirencester. Kidlington, another goal fest. It was 3-3 on Saturday, and then they went one better on Wednesday. They won by 4-3 against Cirencester in an absolute thriller. And here are all the goals that Kidlington scored in the game against the Gloucestershire side last night.
Scott, another 3 points at Yarton Road.
Yeah, massive result. That's in terms of going forward, that's some of the best football we've played. Defensively, we're not so happy with it, but at the end of the day, a win's a win, and it doesn't matter how you win. 3 points is 3 points, and at the moment, we're in a really good place.
Passion, determination was really showed during that 90, wasn't it?
Oh, mate, 100%, and it has to be against good teams. We did say to the boys before the game that they were going to be a team that are going to put a lot of balls in our box, play for a lot of percentages, a lot of free kicks, corners, throw-ins, and we had to try and limit that as best as we could. I felt we dealt with a lot of them, but not all of them. But yeah, mate, as you say, passion, desire, work rate. We said to the boys in the debrief there, like, we've got that in abundance. The expectancy from each other is, the bar is expected so high at the moment, and nobody's prepared to drop below a certain level. And we've got quality in our team. So if we have that as a platform, we'll cause any team trouble.
Full credit to Siren for keep knocking back. And when they did that change your game plan at all?
Not really, because we knew that they'd play that way. We just needed to deal with it, and in spells we dealt with it well, and in other spells we didn't deal with it as well. But yeah, fair play to them, mate. They're a good team. They're a proper outfit. They've got a manager that's won this league and done well in the league above. They've got some very experienced players, some ex-pros in their team. So we expected them to be good, and certainly didn't expect them to give up. Their half-time team talk, you know, we heard it. We knew they were going to come at us, and we just had to deal with the storms when they came. And in parts we did, but we carried a threat going forward as well. And I think that's the key thing for us now. We look like we're going to score. We've scored 2s, 3s, and now 4s in games recently. So, you know, as much as we absorbed a lot of pressure and conceded a few goals tonight, we looked like scoring. Majority of times we got good possession and went forward. So we didn't feel worried at all.
And for anyone that's here watching, they could probably agree with me that it was 5 attacks and 4 goals.
Yeah, it probably was. I think our possession stats would suggest we had more of the ball than that. But it's difficult to break good defenders down or good teams down. But we were clinical, you know, and if that's the case, if we've scored 4 from 5 attacks, then, you know, there's no problem with that at all. That's a high ratio. We'd like to create more, certainly, but we've scored 4 goals tonight and we've bagged 3 points and we've climbed the table a few places as a result. So, yeah, roll on the weekend, mate.
And a brace, 3 points. What do you make of it?
Difficult. I think first half was defensively good, but we gave them too much of the ball. But took our chances. And that's probably the first game where we've been extremely clinical. A lot of the times this season, we've missed that, and that's why we may have not had as many points as we should. But today we got the 3 points and the goals.
Are you disappointed that you made such hard work of it?
Yeah. I mean, when you go 3-0 up at half time, you're cruising. But we've got to have that mentality to dig in. And although we've conceded 4 goals, in my opinion, we've got 3 points. And at the end of the day, that's all we need.
What can you take from this to Saturday?
Hard work. Got to make sure we're better in possession. But ultimately, another 3 points that we want.
So that's Ben Richards, one of the Kidlington goal scorers, ending that little montage from Kidlington's game against Cirencester. A massive thank you again to Charlie Bell for providing the interviews and the really good footage from the game. Before we move on, there's one other midweek game that took place on Tuesday. That was Didcot Town playing against Maidenhead United, Oxford United's victims on Saturday. That was in the Berks and Bucks Cup this time, Didcot Town hosting Maidenhead United. They went down to a 5-2 defeat. The goals for Didcot coming from Cam McNeil and Patrick Osborne. Didcot are away to Poole Town this weekend as they look to try and move themselves off the bottom of the table. And as I said a few weeks ago, Darryl, I'm sure Jamie Heapy will get the best out of them. He's made some notable signings in recent weeks, so hopefully we'll be able to report better things from Didcot Town in the coming weeks. Now we've got some Oxford United news.
Yeah, Oxford United.
Breaking news.
Could this be breaking news? Could this be an exclusive for Sports Unleashed?
Probably not.
Probably not. A new manager for Oxford United. Women's. Sam Rose has joined Oxford United Women's from Aston Villa. First full-time coach for Oxford United Women going forward. So we wish Sam all the best and hopefully continue the good form that they've shown.
What a brilliant capture that is. Somebody with that sort of experience coming to United, and best of luck to United moving forward. Hopefully in a couple of weeks' time we will have news of the Oxford United men's manager after the I'd say shock departure of Liam Manning. I don't think many fans are particularly happy. I've seen some quite cruel tweets going out.
Good memes, I have to say. I have laughed at the memes.
Over the last couple of days with Liam Manning upping sticks and heading down the road to Bristol. At least it wasn't Swindon, I suppose. That would have probably made it even worse, wouldn't it? So who's going to be the new Oxford United manager? We've got a couple of names that are on the bookies list at the moment.
Banding around, aren't they?
Frank Lampard.
Top of the list.
Not sure about that one. John Eustace, the ex-Birmingham manager, maybe. Des Buckingham is a bit of an outside shout. Very well known in these parts and doing really good things in India, and top coach. And would he come back?
Could be along the same lines as Liam.
Maybe.
We should actually say happy birthday to Oxford City's manager,
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes, happy 25th birthday,
yeah,
Ross,
absolutely,
if you're watching. Maybe 35, maybe, I don't know. Probably gone too far now. Right, just before we move on, we have no idea when this game was. Spartan Rangers against Aston in the Witney and District League. The website says that the game was postponed, but we've got 5 goals. So I don't know whether this game was on Saturday or whether it was from a previous week, but because we've been provided these goals, Spartan Rangers against Aston, possible contender again for goal of the season, the last one.
Goal of the week, certainly.
Certainly goal of the week. Reece, well, apart from the 2 Scunthorpe goals, but we gloss over those. Reece Wayne with a hat-trick, and just take a look at the final goal that Reece Wayne scored in this one. And this is Spartan Rangers against Aston in the Witney and District League. And in true K-Dog style, I've made a bit of a balls up there because the last goal wasn't Reece Wayne. He didn't score a hat-trick. That last goal was Alex Murrell scoring from the edge of the penalty area. That will go on the bloopers reel. Have you had a blooper yet? It's just me all the time, isn't it? So that was a 5-0 win for Aston at Spartan Rangers in the Witney and District FA. And I did Ross Jenkins a little bit of a disservice. He's not 35, he's 33 today. So, yeah, many happy returns, Ross. And hopefully your boys will give you a late birthday present on Saturday when they entertain Woking at the Raw Charging Stadium. Change of sports now, and a new sport that we haven't featured.
I'm excited about this bit, I must admit, because we've been after new sports, and we've even got a roving reporter for this, which is just fantastic.
Brilliant.
This is a little bit of highlights from Witney Hockey Club, and our thanks to our roving reporter, Kim Fowler. She's done an amazing job here. First attempt, so, please bear with us, but I think it's absolutely fantastic. Great that we're getting hockey. Like we said, we want to showcase any sport within Oxfordshire. You can email us at oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. That's oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. If you want us to feature your club, whatever it is, whatever sport, please do get in contact with us there. So
maybe a little challenge K-Dog.
There could be a challenge K-Dog around the line. So I don't really want to introduce anything more but the highlights of what Kim actually did for us at the weekend.
Okay, Witney, 2s today, 6th game of the season, playing Wallingford 2s. 2-2, good result. We've had mixed bag of results so far. It was a good game. Wow, 2 goals in the first half? Yeah. 2 in the second half.
Managed to keep it a draw. We got a line save near the end, which is very good. We're very pleased with the draw. It was a very tough game, to be honest.
New players joined us today, and next week we go to Milton Keynes, so that's another big match and a nice early start.
Tough game today, Witney. We came out, we're both near the bottom of the league, so we knew that we needed a win today to get our points. It was 1-1, then it went 2-1 to Witney, then 2-2 to us, so we felt like we had the win, to be fair. We battled hard, obviously so did you guys, and it was we feel quite relaxed actually that we've actually got this result today. Even though it's a draw, we're happy.
Okay, so the next match on after hours is the men's twos. They've just started the second half and just scored a great short corner. We think it's 4-2. We will wait and see, but lots of goals in the game, obviously. Exciting game, and then we'll wait and see what happens at the end and get some post-match interviews for you.
All right, hi, I'm Justin. I'm the Witney men's twos hockey captain. We just finished a game here against Sonning Threes, and we won 6-3.
Nice.
Good game?
Yeah, good game. Went up 2-0 fairly quickly, and then gave away 2 very quick goals.
Yeah.
But in the second half, got back into the game, played well, and 6-3 finish.
6-3 finish, yeah, happy with that. I'm not sure where that leaves us in the league. I think we're about 4th or 5th in the table.
I think that pushes us 4th.
But yeah, still early days, long way to go in the season, so should be good.
Great, thanks guys.
Nice.
Brilliant.
Absolutely love that. Thank you to Kim Fowler there for getting us those highlights and interviews. We look forward to getting some more. And I believe Kim is actually also involved in Vista paddle tennis, and paddle tennis will feature on Oxsports Unleashed in the coming weeks. So stay tuned for that, because that's one of the biggest sports growing in the world at the moment.
Absolutely. And just before we move on to the ice hockey, you mentioned there, Kim, basically being a contributor for us. Massive thank you to everybody that's contributing, and also thank you to those that have contacted us in recent weeks. We may soon have a roving reporter for the Witney and District League. Lee McGuinness has offered his services, so coming to a football ground near you, potentially the Scouser Lee McGuinness will turn up with his camera, and hopefully that will allow us to feature a bit more Witney District League. We're still looking for rugby. We've had a few contacts from Oxford Harlequins and from Witney, so thank you to Bob Fisk and to John Broadley for getting back to us. We're looking to get in touch with all the top rugby clubs. We know we've got Matt Watts, who I'm sure will come in and talk for England for us at some point. So we are trying to get as many sports out there as we possibly can. Yes, we know that might well mean that the programme stretches beyond an hour, but so be it, because this is your programme, as we've mentioned many, many times, and we want to cover as much sport as we possibly can to try and bring the spotlight back on Oxfordshire sport in the sort of the lack of sports coverage across the county, particularly maybe the sports that don't get the coverage that they might otherwise get. Darryl.
Yeah, I was going to say, any hockey club out there. Hockey club out there. Please send us, if you've got any footage at all, please send it to us at that address.
Absolutely.
Again at oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. So thank you again, Kim. Well, you know, we like to get this programme flowing, don't we? We have hockey. Now we're going on to ice.
Slide into the ice hockey.
Yeah, it's just seamless, isn't it? Seamless. I don't really, again, obviously last week I certainly had a bit of a choke by reading out the statement that happened last week with Adam Johnson fatality at Nottingham Panthers. So it's obviously there was some marks of respect from Oxford City Stars this week. Going to show you the highlights. They come back to winning ways. They've bounced back really well with a massive 13-1 win over MK Thunder. So here's a little bit of footage from that game.
With the Oxbons ready to open its doors to an expected crowd of 350, Oxford City Stars faced MK Thunder. Before the match, we honoured Adam Johnson of the Nottingham Panthers after the fatal accident that took place last weekend, with a minute's silence followed by a minute's applause. The game began, and before we knew it, Stars took the lead, not by 1, but by 3. This was a great start for Stars, especially after the last few matches. Penny put Stars 4 in front. This led to MK calling an early timeout. However, Stars took this as an advantage, and shortly after, Hullaby got the 5th. Thunder's Burr was given the first penalty of the match. MK killed it very well, though 15 seconds later, Danny Williams increased Stars' lead. Thunder retaliated and broke through to 1-0, but with Miller making a big save. Stars created some lovely play, then Hullaby was taken out, resulting to a penalty shot that he scored, and in period 1, Stars 7, MK 0. The second period began with MK desperate for their first with some offensive play, but nothing affecting the scoreline. Stars fought back, which led to a bit of a scrimmage between Hullaby and Howe. MK's Dickinson took a shot which deflected off a Stars D-man, but Miller got a glove to it. Cook got Stars' 8th of the night. After, MK retaliated with Dickinson hitting the back of the net, and in the final 2 minutes of the second, Penny finished his hat-trick. Period 3 started, and 2 minutes in, Danny Williams got Stars' 10th. With a couple of penalties given after, the puck was just being passed around. Stars created an amazing chance through Hullaby, Flanagan, Hindpitch and Abbott, however, was shot wide. It wasn't long until Stars added 3 to their lead, which was the end of an exciting game full of goals. Oxford 13, MK 1.
The eagle-eyed amongst you might have realised that that wasn't footage, but it was a match report from Caitlin. Thank you very much for that indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a blooper for you. 1-1. So after the game, 13-1 victory. So Milton Keynes Thunder were silenced by the Stars. And after the game, the very well-dressed, dapper head coach, Simon Anderson, who always dresses for the camera, this is what he had to say after that 13-1 win over MK Thunder.
Evening one, come here at Oxford Ice Rink. It's finished. Oxford City Stars 13, MK Thunder 1. Coach Simon Anderson, what a big W that is on Sunday, right?
Yeah, we'll take it. We haven't won for a few weeks, so it's always an intention obviously to go into this weekend, 4-point weekend, but we couldn't quite get it done yesterday at Slough. We lost it in the third period there, and we needed to regroup tonight, and then we needed to get the W. So I'm really happy that we've got the 2 points tonight.
Absolutely. That first 10 minutes, what do you put that start down to?
We just asked the boys to get back to basics and move the puck, and we worked on a few things on Wednesday, and then we sort of went over it on the board this afternoon in the team meeting, and the guys just done it. Just go back to basics, simple puck movement, get the puck low high, and get pucks to nets, and good things happen, and that's what happened. So it wasn't anything major we put in place. It was just the boys executed on stuff we've spoken about, and hopefully they'll see that and see it works, and they'll do it more.
Love that. Big game, really. Next Sunday at home, Chelmsford come to Oxford. Exciting?
Yeah, absolutely. We spoke about that tonight. Some of the stuff we've done tonight as well, defensively, was sloppy. Milton Keynes couldn't quite capitalise on it, but 100% Chelmsford will do. So, on scorelines like this, you end up getting bad habits, which obviously we want to get out of our game for next weekend. So, it's human nature, right? Everybody wants to score. They're all jumping in the rush, not thinking about our end of the ice. And we gave up too many sort of 3-on-1s and sometimes a 3-on-0 at one point. Ross bailed us out. So, we want to make sure that we get back to basics on Wednesday, make sure we get a structure in place, because Chelmsford will come in here and they will, tell us a new one if we're not ready.
Cool. Thank you so much, Simon. Congrats on the win.
I do love getting my own back. That was Simon Anderson, the head coach for Oxford City Stars, talking about their 13-1 win over MK Thunder. And the eagle-eared amongst you will have heard that my colleague said it was Caitlin who provided the report. It was Catalin. So
My
apologies again.
Catalin,
and so that's that. So mixed fortunes for the Witney hockey, but the ice hockey really going well this week. A fantastic win for the City Stars. They are back in action at home at Oxpens Road this Sunday against, wait for it, the Chelmsford Chieftains.
I love the names. I love those
And
names.
that's at Oxpens Road at the ice rink, 6:15 face-off as usual. And as you can see, and as you're aware of, lots and lots of people get down there to watch. We are definitely going to get down at some stage, Darryl and myself, to have a look ourselves and taste the atmosphere. City Stars then home to Chelmsford Chieftains on Sunday, 6:15 face-off. If you want to get tickets, go to www.oxfordcitystars.co.uk and you can get some tickets for that game. We might even just try and find out how the Halloween special went potentially, because that's
who won the competition.
Wow, indeed, absolutely. So that's the end of the ice hockey, and thankfully I can look forward to this a bit more, because there's no challenge K-Dog today. But Darryl, we after the golf challenge, we had some words with the wonderful coach John Stubbs.
John Stubbs, we did, and we thank again the PGA Pro at Tadmarton Heath Golf Club for taking the time to try and help this old fella play a game of golf or hit a few balls down the middle. John speaks really well in this interview that we did after a really nice cup of coffee in the clubhouse.
Very pleasant.
Very pleasant it was.
So we've moved inside now. It's been a gorgeous day at Tadmarton Heath. We're now in the old clubhouse. And John, first of all, thank you very much for that.
Pleasure. You did great.
Cheers. Really interesting how I felt I progressed really quickly, but that was all thanks to the grip and the start of the match was brilliant. So moving on, so for somebody like me, a complete beginner, I actually got a bit of a bug for that after the camera stopped rolling. I kept hitting a few balls. There was one that I hit after the cameras were rolling, which went very far, but you won't believe me, but it's true. So advice for somebody that wants to get into golf, as a beginner, presumably across the county, there are plenty of places where you can go and get coaching and learn the game from scratch.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things is to seek out your local golf club first. Most golf clubs now have a PGA professional on site. That's who you want to be looking at getting your lessons off. These guys have been taught to the highest standards, and they're going to be able to help you through. A lot of golf clubs as well now have realised the importance of bringing the youth through and ladies and women especially. So they've got great programs set up from basic junior lessons, basic ladies academy lessons, and then they'll take you all the way through a process if you want to join the golf club, and you can do after that. Yeah.
And you mentioned bringing youngsters into the game, but I'm not a youngster. I'm 47 years old, and it's a game. It's a sport that is open to anybody, isn't it? It doesn't matter how old you are. It's obviously an opportunity for somebody maybe that hasn't tried a sport before to try something new, as I did today, and see if they get a liking for it, as I did.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's great to learn a new skill, regardless of age, really. And you saw today, within just 15-20 minutes, you were able to hit some pretty good shots, and I can vouch that the last shot you hit off camera was very good as well. So yeah, and you can easily get the bug for it, and in a short space of time, you will be able to go on the golf course and play a game of golf. And then once that happens, you can progress with different types of skills, because obviously today we've just looked at 7-iron. There's drivers, there's bunkers play, there's short game, there's putters and everything like that. So yeah, it takes a little bit of time to hone all those skills, but in a short space of time you'll probably be able to get on the golf course.
That's something we might hold you to, because that might be something maybe as a progression next year perhaps. The other thing about golf, it's obviously a very hugely popular sport, very historic as well, but the venues that you play at, I mean, I was going to ask you in a moment, what do you love most about golf? But presumably one of the things is you're out in the fresh air. It's been a gorgeous day today, but predominantly, why did you take up golf, and what do you like about golf more than anything?
It's a good question. I've been playing it so long. I love the sport. I mean, you are on your own. It's down to you. If you hit a bad shot, it's your fault. You can't blame the clubs. But yeah, I mean, the different types of golf courses we play. I mean, here at Tadmarton Heath, it's a heathland golf course. We've got Parkland, we've got Links, which is, it's actually one of my favourites. It's what they play the Open at. But it's all the different variety. And you meet an awful lot of people. I mean, here at Tadmarton, you've got 900 different members. So you're meeting different people across a broad spectrum of businesses and people and personalities. So yeah, it's great fun.
Talk to me a little bit about if you want to take up golf and you want to sort of get into sort of competitive golf. I know that there are sort of Oxfordshire leagues around, so all the clubs enter Oxfordshire leagues, and what's the strength of that at the moment in terms of participation?
So from an amateur point of view, there's the sort of the Oxfordshire Scratch League. So that's the sort of the lowest handicapped players, or the best golfers you would say in the clubs. They play against each other. The nice thing about golf, because of the handicap system, is after you've got the sort of elite amateur, you can then start doing other types of leagues. So we do what's called the Central Sevens League, and we play against other clubs. And again, they play on a handicap basis, so it becomes a bit more of an even level playing field, all the way through to our men's club matches as well. But from a point of view of getting in professional golf and professional tournaments, you have to be obviously very, very good. And huge amounts of practice and dedication, and it is a huge amount of work. And especially now, I mean, when I was a lot younger, the standard was pretty good. Now, with the development of sports psychologists and things like that, you're seeing children 13, 14, elite golfers with sports psychologists. So when they're coming into the professional ranks at 17, 18, they're so much more further down the line than what I was when I was 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, I think it's the same in most professional sports now. It's not just the training and the practice on the day, it is all the sort of background stuff that people maybe don't think about really. Certainly in terms of cricket and football, I know that it's quite a lot of the game is what's in between the ears as well. Certainly with me, from a cricket perspective, I hit balls lovely in the nets, but going into the middle and I just go to pieces. It's the mental side. Final question: anybody watching this that, like me, hasn't tried golf before and wants to try golf, for example, here at Tadmarton Heath, what would they need to do? Who would they need to contact to get some taster sessions in your club?
Go onto our website, it's tadmartingolf.com. You'll see all the contact details there. We've got a number of professionals here that would be able to help. And come along and try it. You've seen yourself. Within 15, 20 minutes, there's a smile on your face, and you'll start to get the bug for it already.
I'll tell you one thing, I'm very, very keen, maybe a year down the line, to come back, try again, and maybe have a few holes with you and see if I can get the ball anywhere near the flag. John,
that would be great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Cheers.
There we have it. Our thanks to John Stubbs for taking the time out, as I said, to do the interview, but also
try and turn me into a golfer. Golfer.
Probably more suitable. So how did you think you did after your 2 attempts at golf? Because we didn't have the chance to ask you last week after showing
So,
the second part.
as you saw on that interview there, John did confirm that straight away after the camera stopped rolling, he confirmed that I did hit a really good shot. I don't know, I'm playing a cricket shot. He did confirm I hit a really good shot straight down the middle, about 150 yards. Really good shot, and I'm not just lying because he's confirmed it. And fair play. He did. You did actually, and thank you very much to John because yes, spending some time with somebody that's basically got absolutely no hand-eye coordination, no sporting ability, no technical ability. That's me. And spending some time with me and trying to help me, it was really enjoyable. And he's also agreed to put himself through the torture of helping me a little bit more during the winter. So what the plan will be is once that is fixed, which is still hurting, the plan's going to be that I'm going to have a few sessions with John early in the new year. And the idea will be, Darryl, that we go back to Tadmarton in the spring. You bring your camera, Dan brings his camera, we roll it, and I'm smashing balls 300 yards, holes in one, and I'm going to be the best golfer in the world. That's the plan. That's the plan. If you want any information about Tadmarton Golf Club, you can go to their website, www.tadmartingolf.com, www.tadmartingolf.com, and I have to say, it is a spectacular place. Beautiful.
I was even loving the decor in the clubhouse there with the old golf clubs in the background. Absolutely sensational.
It was, yes, but whether he can turn me into a golfer, well, watch this space and we'll see how things go during the winter.
And if we want any other challenges for this young man on my left, then please contact us at that email address again, oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com.
Absolutely. Right, just before we wrap up for another week, there weren't many results this week because of all the bad weather, but there was a fair bit of rugby actually, and some really good results in the Rugby Union. We'll go through the top results now. So Chinner continue their steamroller of a season. They had another fantastic victory away to Taunton Titans.
Oh, another good name.
Taunton Titans, they won that one 53-21 in National League One. They are absolutely flying, Chinna, and it's brilliant to see. They're second in the table, just behind Rams. They play the Rams just before Christmas at Kingsley Road, and hopefully it's a Friday night game. Hopefully we may be able to get down there and get some footage and get some interviews, because we'd love to see just how Chinna are doing so well. In National 2 East, Henley had a good win as well. Henley Hawks beat Wimbledon by 23 points to 19. Regional Midlands won, one defeat and one victory. Banbury fell 27 away to Burton, but Oxford Harlequins, they beat Stoke-on-Trent by 41 points to 21. So a good result for Quins. Not so good for Banbury, but I'm sure they'll bounce back next week. Now we'll just run through the remaining results that are left. As I said, there weren't many this week because of all the rain, but here, as always, is our weekly results roundup from football and from rugby union. So there we go, not quite so many results as we would normally bring you, but still a fair few from the rugby world, and hopefully we'll have a better fist of having a decent programme of sporting fixtures this weekend. The weather forecast looks a little bit better this Saturday, so fingers crossed next week we'll be able to bring you a few more results. And just before we close, we haven't really mentioned much about cricket this week because we are out of the cricket season, but
the
World Cup
world has gone berserk, to be honest. Angelo Matthews being timed out for having two helmets on the field of play at the same time, just bonkers. I actually was involved in a similar incident, quite amusing incident, many years ago at Dean Park down in Bournemouth, where Oxfordshire, minor county side as it was then, were playing Dorset. And certainly Ian Curtis, left-arm spinner, tall left-arm spinner, ex of Surrey, took about 4 wickets in 5 balls, and it caught a certain number 9 for Dorset unawares as he was on the toilet. So he actually got timed out, and it was quite remarkable. In the old days at Dean Park, there was a telephone box outside the pavilion, and the receiver was just non-stop calls coming in from all the national press. I was literally relaying all the information of what happened, and the greatest respects to them. I can't remember his name, which is really bad of me. I should blame my researcher, me. But he went out to the middle in the days of buckled pads. Yes, I had buckled pads. I'm that old. But he only had the bottom buckle actually done up, and they were just flapping as he went out to the middle for the umpires just to say, "Go back, you're out." Very amusing. All the national newspapers were like flushed out and things like that. It was very amusing. Don't get caught on the loo if you need to go in to bat. Shortly, because there's a lesson for you. But not only that. I mean, Glenn Maxwell. Yeah.
Incredible.
How's that? I've just been reliably informed by our co-producer tonight, Patrick Locke, that he came in on a hat-trick ball and was nearly out first ball, and went on to score 201 on no legs. And as a coach, you're telling people to move and get your head towards the ball and stable bases and all that. No, just swing from the hip and just smash it, basically, is perhaps the way forward.
And I've got to say, if you get a chance to have a search on Twitter, X, there is a very funny tweet that is doing the rounds. It's sort of gone a little bit viral. I'll try and get you the link for next week, but it's essentially a little bit of a play of the Glenn Maxwell innings by a young Afghanistan lad. And it's just very, very funny to watch. He's sort of hitting one off one leg, takes a stump out and hits one, kicks one, a bit like you do most weeks.
Laying down and playing a ramp.
Laying down and playing a ramp, yeah. I mean, the kicking, that's obviously what you do every week. So, but I will try and dig out that tweet for next week because it's really worth watching. And if we get a chance, actually, we might be able to show it because it was really funny, just a bit of a lighter side. Just going back to the timeout, I have to say sometimes, though, what goes around comes around, because I remember Sri Lanka mankading Josh Butler, and it caused a massive furore. So for all that, I totally agree with what you said to me off air, that it was ultimately player safety because he needed to get his helmet right. But sometimes it happens, and you just sort of think, well, what did Sri Lanka do a few years ago? Maybe it's a bit of karma, but I would say, spirit of cricket. I'm a big believer in the spirit of cricket. Some people aren't. And I think that personally, Bangladesh should have definitely withdrawn the appeal, or the umpires actually could have stepped in and said, hold on a minute, we need to get player safety. We've seen what happened to Phil Hughes, and obviously the tragedy a couple of weeks ago in a different sport. Player safety is so paramount. And, I just personally think there's a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth on that one, and not the sort of thing you want to see on a cricket field. But we're not going to end with some misery. We're going to end with some happiness that we're finished. That's it for the week. So you can now go off and go to bed or make your late supper, and we will be back in your living rooms, toilets, jacuzzis, kitchens next week. And I will hand over, as always, to the old fella to close the show. Darryl.
Is that me, is it?
That's you.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for your comments. Obviously, if you want anything shown on this programme, Ox Sports Unleashed, please do email us. Please email us at oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. We will be pleased to receive your email. So that was Ox Sports Unleashed. Join us again next week when we're unleash some more Ox Sports. It's good night from me.
See ya.